Hello and welcome once again to the TryPod NRL betting podcast. This week we preview round 9.
Lego!
My name is Fly Baba Waba Jabba Nunga. I'm back. Run.
Is that racist?
Nah.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Nah, I think we're fine. Anyway, we're back. Thank you, Flabawaba. We are back after a week hiatus to bring you the round 9 preview. And today we're joined by our resident NBA fan and also our proud sponsor, Ev Bron. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks. This studio is pretty nice. It's better than the NBA studio. What's going on there?
It is. As we get more likes and followers, we get more money, more sponsors, and we're able to upgrade from our garage studio.
And of course, Ev's with us because we've just recorded a second, back by popular demand, Ball So Hard NBA betting pod. So if you haven't already listened to that one, check it out. You'll be able to find that on our Facebook page as well. We gave out a lot of winners in round 1, and we've just given out some really, really hot tips for round 2.
Absolutely.
So check that one out. That was a cool pod. That was fun recording. Now, of course, we're on to the round 9 preview. But
Absolutely.
Yeah, feeling nice and refreshed after a week off. After our bye week, mate. You have a good time?
Yeah, I am. I had a good week. Obviously, we gave out the tip for no score in the first 8 minutes.
And that was after about 4 winning NBA plays.
Yeah,
even in our week off, still doing some work for the fans.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a good week, and and we do say we bet on our own bets. And we did have no score in the first 8 minutes for the Australia one. And look, I was sitting there. The missus was at work, I was sitting by myself at home, and it was pouring down rain, and what else to do but check every...
Yeah, what are you going to say?
Huh?
What else to do but... I don't know if you should say that on the pod.
What else... okay, well, I guess I can't say that live on air, but what else you would do is check every betting site that you have in your phone.
Of course.
And obviously that's the correct answer there. So I'm sifting through all my betting sites. Obviously the rain's pouring down. I see the total for the game dropping in front of my very eyes from 39.5 down to 31. And I think it was down to 30 in some places. So I think to myself, they're not going to score in the first 8 minutes. This isn't going to be the most conservative game ever. They're just going to hold the ball. So obviously that was the best bet. I looked through all my betting sites. I see it's dropped on various sites. No score in the first 8 minutes, $1.66. Oh, okay. No score in the first 8 minutes, $1.70. In one place it was down to $1.56. But, what's this? Sportsbet, still $1.90, load up. So obviously, I load up.
I think you called me, we just agreed it was the best bet. We shared it with the, pod followers as soon as we discussed it.
Yep, we did.
Gave it out to the people.
Yep. And
we were sitting pretty, we were happy because it was absolutely deplorable conditions. So there was no way anyone could, move the ball at all in that game.
There wasn't going to be any spreading it wide, which doesn't usually happen with us anyway. But yeah, I was sitting there with a great bet, really happy with myself.
You loaded up on it too.
Oh,
fair
yeah.
to say.
Can't say how much.
No.
But anyway, then I get the terrible, heartbreaking news that the game's been postponed to Sunday. I think, damn it, well that sucks. Oh, maybe it's not that bad, postponed till Sunday. Maybe it's still going to be raining then. I checked the weather report. Oh, 29 and sunny at 4 p.m. on a Sunday. Oh, just great. And I actually got out the 7-day weather forecast 2 days before and 5 days after, and that was the hottest day out of the 7. It was the least wind and also the least humidity.
It was actually perfect football playing conditions.
Yeah.
I think you were sweating because you had, a fair bit of skin in the game, and I remember the way I found out it was postponed was when I got this voicemail from you.
The Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away.
And I knew something was wrong.
I was pretty devastated, and but then I sort of forgot about it. I was going to call Sportsbet and just cancel it straight away, but I ended up going to Toowoomba for the races, and obviously didn't do anything about it then. Got back Sunday, obviously missed the fight, and then I'd spent a bit on drinks out in Toowoomba, so I thought, well, just let it ride. And let it ride I did.
And the rest is history, ended up cashing anyway. I think I was getting home from the fight myself and I got this voicemail from you.
And Foul! 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 I'm back from the brink. Oh.
Wait, we may not have heard that. Can we?
I think we got
it. We got it. Well, anyway,
So
I
you're
said
back
I'm
from the
back
brink.
from the brink. But yeah. Anyway, so it was a good weekend all round.
Sorry about that. That's why you don't let amateurs into the studio.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, that was good week.
Yeah, so, a couple weeks ago, we were finding it hard to find a way to win. We've got bounced back on track in round 8 and, hopefully continue our winning ways in round 9. I mean, it was a momentous occasion. We had our 40th winner given out this week, 40 out of 60. So we've literally won twice as many as we've lost. And I don't know if people understand this. Maybe you can tell me what you think about this, Evan, but we've had twice as many winners as losers, and I can guarantee you there's not a single site in the internet that's giving out this kind of, winning percentage, certainly not for free. I've seen sports betting pick sites where they're selling picks and they're advertising that they can go 53%. That's their advertise. They're saying, look at us, we went 53% in our last 60 plays, as if that's good for them. People are pretty lucky to, have us giving this out for free.
Yeah,
we're happy to do it,
It's for the people.
That means a lot to us.
Yeah.
And it'd be remiss of us to go any further without speaking about the fight of the century, the fight of our generation, which took place on the weekend.
Big weekend in sport.
I mean, can you guys share your thoughts on the fight in one word? What do you think, Alex?
I didn't watch it.
What about you, Efron?
Overrated.
And I'll say predictable. I was looking at betting a fair bit on the fight. I knew I'd be watching it. Everything that I'd seen previously really led me to believe that it's going to be Floyd playing defensively. That's what he does. He doesn't give his opponent many opportunities. He really protects that zero. And you have a funny phenomenon in big fights. You have so many people from the public that don't usually bet that want to throw a bet on the fight. And they go to their app or they go to the betting window and they say, I want to put $20 on the fight. If you put $20 on Floyd, you win 10. If you put $20 on Manny, you win 30. And people say, give me the underdog, It's kind of a reverse phenomenon to what happens in regular sports. Because of that, you can actually get really good value on the favourite. So I wanted to play Floyd, but then I thought, I'm watching it with all my mates. This, you bet on sport for two reasons, either to make money or for recreational purposes to make it more enjoyable. I said, this will be enjoyable enough, just barracking for Manny. This is good versus evil. Didn't bet the fight, and, in the end, it did turn out the way most of us would have predicted.
Yeah. And, I mean, just because I didn't watch the fight doesn't mean I didn't bet it.
No.
So I got back from Toowoomba, and obviously, I was thinking, oh, shoot, I think I got home at maybe 1:30 or something, and I thought, I'll check to see if the fight's still on. Maybe I can go down to the pub and watch it. And it was in the 7th or 8th round, I think it was, so it was nearly donezo. So, obviously your first instinct is to hop on Sportsbet or whatever. And the fight was still going, and I was looking at the live updates, and it actually said that Floyd was up. I think it might have been even, they had 6 rounds to 2 or 5 rounds to 3. And I could still get Floyd Mayweather to win by decision at $2.15. So I did bet it.
Money on the ground.
It did win. Yeah. But anyway, good weekend.
Yeah, and before we jump straight into the round 9 preview, you told me something pretty shocking. I don't even know if I could believe this. I think I spoke to you the other day. I'll let you tell the story, and we alluded to it in the NBA pod, so those of you who've been waiting. Now, I don't believe this, but you said you were at a blood bank?
Yep. I give blood once every 3 months.
Now, that's what I find so hard to believe.
I save 3 lives every 3 months.
You have never donated anything in your life, mate.
Nope.
Is this true?
I've donated money to the betting agencies, mate.
I guess you get free food, don't you, at the blood bank?
Yeah, you do, actually. And the only staying thing, and I've been telling our work does it every 3 months, and I've been trying to get them to organise the times for around lunchtime, because it really is a good feed. They have sausage rolls sometimes, muffins, chocolate bars, chocolate milk, all sorts of stuff. But I had it at 3 o'clock, so I was still full from lunch.
Well, it's good to hear you doing it for the right reasons anyway.
Yeah, but I've been... Yeah, and God, this is embarrassing because Evron, my trainer, is in here. But I've been hovering just around...
Earmuffs, Ev.
Just above 100 kilos for a little while.
You've tonned up.
Yeah, I tonned up a long time ago. And when I was training with Evron, I actually got as low as 101, and I thought, maybe I'll be able to crack, under 100.
101 is still
far-fetched, yeah. And I stopped training with Evron. It's just Don't know why.
We were making progress.
We were making progress, I know. I should start up again. But anyway,
Well, I
went
suggested that you guys do a workout today when Ev came over, because you had the day off today, obviously.
Yeah, we talked on the phone actually. I did offer to train you today.
Needed
And
to
what was your excuse for not?
Had to
for
clean
not-
the house, mate.
Had to clean the house.
Yeah.
The one thing that's less likely than you training.
That's
Happy
funny, I
wife, happy life.
thought- I asked you on your day off, does Ken's kind of put you to task, get you to clean the house, and you
It
said
doesn't usually happen,
you
and
said-
when it does, you do it.
you said she does, but what you'll do is put a slow cook meal on and then act like that was your day's work.
And don't give
as
it
long
away,
as-
she might listen.
As long as you feed her when she gets home, she forgets, and she says, "Oh, you could have done some vacuuming." And you're like, "Well, I could have." So I know you weren't cleaning.
I did, I cleaned the house.
I think you were probably doing what you alluded to earlier in the pod, but anyway. Sorry to interrupt you.
Anyway, sorry. So
Do we need a drum roll?
I was 101 when I was back training with Ev Bryan, and that's been, when's the last time we trained? Probably
about a month ago.
Probably 2 months ago, I reckon. And I went into the blood bank, and they're like, "Oh, just step on the scale, please." And what? 107.
What?
107.
Jesus Christ.
I couldn't believe it. Given I was
107.
wearing my work clothes, I had my phone in my pocket, so that adds a little bit on, but still,
Not really.
that is bad.
Mate, why are you
Something's wrong
previewing
with
the
me.
NRL? You should be playing in the NRL.
No, that's what I mean. That's
And
what
for those of you who don't know,
told.
this guy used to be, professional athlete, used to have a world ranking in tennis.
Mm.
I don't know too many tennis players that weigh 107 kilos.
No! Not one!
In fact,
Couldn't tell you one.
You've got me thinking, that how many people on Earth do weigh 107 kilos that can actually move?
I'd say it'd be less than 1% of the population.
What I've actually brought with me here is a list of players from the NRL that weigh as much or less than you.
Okay.
So, I heard of Josh Papali,
Yes.
absolute
Stop.
wrecking balls from the Raiders. He weighs the same as you. Sam Thaiday, Tim Manor, Aaron Woods, they're all, professional front rowers. They weigh the same as you. Here's some players that weigh less than you. Adam Blair,
Oh, no.
Ben Madalino, Josh Maguire, Richie Faoso, even
Josh Maguire's like 6'4",
Sollies.
isn't he?
Yes. Nate Moles, Sam Rapira, Maori, Glenn Stewart. His chest is bigger than anything.
Yes.
Tyson Frizzell, Joseph Polo, David Farlongo.
Oh no. Oh no.
Why do you need to do something about that?
I know.
And I actually asked
why I got
Evan,
Evan here.
could you look up some American professional sports players that weigh less than both up? It wouldn't have been too hard.
Yeah, this is a long list here. Reggie Bush,
Oh no.
He's made of granite.
Adrian Peterson.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
He's 6'5", and
And
he's
they're
also made
both
of granite. And they're American football players.
Shady McCoy, Kobe Bryant,
Kobe Bryant's 6'6".
Carmelo Anthony,
Carmelo Anthony's 6'9".
Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh,
Oh my god.
Joachim Noah.
Ah, come on, man. Chris Bosh is a dinosaur. He's fucking thin.
We might leave it there, but I mean,
That's
yeah,
enough.
do you want to turn your life around, mate?
Let's move on.
Let's get into round
That's enough.
9, mate.
Yeah, I don't like this.
What's the first game we got on the slate?
Let's get into round 9. Broncos hosting Penrith. Broncos laying 8 points. The over-under sitting between 40.5 and 41.
And we both like Penrith. We both said to ourselves, is this the week we take Penrith? We're waiting. Matt Moylan's been named, but I heard that he broke his hand or definitely dislocated a couple of
He dislocated
knuckles.
some fingers.
Yeah, in that City Country game. He's what makes them tick. And obviously they're still missing Soward and Wallace. So
Well,
you take
yeah,
their three playmakers out. I can't roll with Penrith on a Friday night against a Brisbane team that is pretty much full strength. Thiday's out for a week, but
Yep.
Alex Glenn back in.
Yeah, and I texted you earlier in the week and said, are we taking Penrith? And that's when I read an article that said that Soward is probably back for this game. But then I dug a little deeper and you said Moylan's out. Seguiaro is actually, I think he's questionable or maybe out as well. Wallace is out or questionable. So it's like you can't play this game unless you have all the facts until you really know. So it's a pass from me for this one. Next up on the Friday night, we got the Roosters hosting the Tigers. The Roosters laying 8 points and the over-under sitting at 41.5 to 42.
Yeah, and obviously the Roosters are having a bit of a torrid time of it, and I really am looking for them to bounce back. I had a look at their team list, welcoming back Aiden Guerra this week, welcoming back Rhea Hargraves. So really starting to get strong again, this Roosters side. and I really want to play them. And then I looked at West, and they're at absolute full strength as well. They've got Keith Galloway coming back into the team, and I'm really a fan of this West side as well. So I've got two teams that I've got a lot of respect for. I think we can make money off both of them, but not when they're playing each other. Maybe look to play the loser of this game next week.
Yeah, and I agree. And as we said in the earlier pods, we've got a list usually, and that list changes of bet on and bet against teams. And that's teams that you want to bet on and obviously teams that you want to bet against. And both of these teams, especially with the Roosters losing, 4 on the trot, I think.
Yep.
They're a bet on team in our eyes, but this isn't the right spot to take them against a full strength Tigers team that we think are still slightly underrated. So this is a pass for us. Moving on to the Saturday games, we got the Raiders hosting the Titans. Bit of money's come for the Raiders. They're into 3.5 point favourites with a high total sitting at 42.5.
What does that smell? Was that you, Ev?
It wasn't me.
Geez, maybe it's just this game. I've got no interest in this game whatsoever. I think the Raiders are probably the right side here. They absolutely burned us. They were down 16-4 against the Bunnies, and then they found a way to score over 18 and to cover the line there. In fact, win outright. But I'm certainly not taking the Raiders as a favourite. Like I've said, there's not much there. I'm not going to look on the Gold Coast because I think Greg Bird, as much of a grub as he is, he helps that team roll, and he's going to be out. They do welcome the Coltrane back. I don't know what to make of this game. It's going to be pretty close. It's going to be pretty ugly. The less said, the better.
Yeah, these two teams, you do not know what to expect from them. Obviously, Canberra, a terrible side, but they can put up good performances as well. Likewise with the Titans. So, yeah, two crappy teams in a game where the line's under 4. I'm staying away. We got the Sharkies hosting the Warriors. Sharkies laying 2.5 points. The over-under sitting at around 39.5 to 40.
Yeah, and this week they're actually moving Barber to the starting lineup and into fullback, and that could be the most potent backline that they can produce. So I think you got Flash Gordon on one wing, Val and Tyne Holmes on the other wing, Barber in the middle. You got Jack Bird and Robson in the halves, and you've got a pretty awesome forward pack with Fafita back. But not quite at full strength. I think Hyington and Gallen are obviously out. I'm just waiting for them to get to full strength, and then they're going to be very hard to beat.
Look to bet on them again.
Not made a secret of the fact that I think this Cronulla team can be pretty deadly at times.
You made no secret that you thought they could win the comp.
And I still do think that they can contend. And New Zealand's a side that I've said for a few weeks, we're going to make money on this team. This team's going to make us money, but we just haven't found that spot yet. Sam Tompkins still a week or two away. Conrad Hurrell's back. It wouldn't surprise me if New Zealand can win this one. At the same time, not going against a really strong Cronulla at home. I'm leaving this one alone as well.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. And obviously, Tompkins out. And he's been out for quite some time now. That's a big blow for New Zealand. They might get him back next week. So, yeah, maybe we just look to play the loser of this game as well, especially if it's New Zealand and they get Tompkins back next week.
Definitely.
So that'll wrap up the first half of the week's games.
Yeah, we've raced through pretty quickly. And before we do the next 4, how about a word from our sponsor?
Why? Okay, well.
He's a bit shy. Let's just play the pre-recorded one.
He lets his training do the talking.
This episode of the TryPod NRL Betting Podcast is proudly brought to you by F-Sanity, the Performance Athletic Association. Check out our new sporting apparel on Instagram today.
Why is it such a long break? On this side of the ice?
He's a part-time DJ. That's why.
Yeah, that's true. Something people don't know about Ev is he's brought found 2 niche markets where there's definitely a need.
Yep.
That's personal training and DJs. You can't find just about anyone that does either, and he does both.
And they go hand in hand. Because obviously, if you're hitting the clubs until 4 a.m, you're dancing around, you're losing weight. And then likewise, if you're doing your fitness training.
You're actually wearing an F-Sanity.
Yeah, thanks for noticing.
We should actually post that online.
Yeah, and it's comfy.
Is it?
I feel more aerodynamic
breathable?
when I do the pod.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got a few looks, I've got to say, around the job site today.
From who?
Yeah.
Co-workers?
Mostly.
other dudes?
Yeah, just jealous dudes, I think.
True.
Yeah.
No, that's fair enough. Well, any publicity is good publicity, I guess.
That's it.
So we'll move along to the next 4 games. We got the Cowboys hosting the Bulldogs. Now the Cowboys laying between 7.5 and 8 points, and the over/under sitting at 39.5 to 40.
And you need a really good reason to go against North Queensland in Townsville, because they're always going to be the side most likely to win that game with Jonathan Thurston. Oh, we've just about got a decent reason here. Jason Taumalolo, who I think I'm a huge fan of, he's such a game breaker. He's out. He hurt his knee last week, but they actually still found a way to win in Newcastle without Taumalolo for the bulk of the game. So this team's pretty solid. Don't really want to go against North Queensland. For Canterbury, this is a team that I think, when fully healthy, might be the best of the lot. But it's not fully healthy. We've got Josh Reynolds. I don't know what's wrong with the guy. The list goes on. Yeah, he just loses his mind sometimes, and he lost it in City Country to get suspended like that in City Country. So Reynolds is out. You've still got Brett Morris out. You've still got James Graham out. That's 3 superstars, really. You're not going to take them on the road in Townsville. So I'm staying away from this one too. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, you're right. It's hard to go against North Queensland the way they're playing at the moment. But we hate laying big points. We've done it once this year, and it came back to bite us. And 7.5 is a lot of points. The Bulldogs, with all their stars missing, they're going to try and take this to the grindhouse, make it a low-scoring game, and laying 7.5 points is too much for me. Something that I always say to you guys is there's 2 things that I rarely ever lay, and that's women and big points in the NRL. True. And the reason is it's fraught with danger. And you've laid big points more times than you have laid women this year. That's fair to say, and I got burned. Yeah, we won't say how many times we've laid big points, but it's single digits. Anyway, so that's a pass for us. Moving on to this, the next game, we got the Sea Eagles hosting the Knights. Now, the Sea Eagles are favourites here, laying anywhere from 5.5 to 6 points in the game total, sitting anywhere between 40.5 and 41.5. And you're sitting there, maybe you've already listened to the NBA pod, now you've listened to this pod, and you're thinking, can I get an NRL best bet? These guys are killing it. Yep. I haven't heard a best bet. Well, here we are. I love this game. We don't love Manly this year. Yes, they had a win last week, but that was a rivalry game, I should say, last round. They're still not fully healthy. Jamie Lyon comes back into the side. The back line's coming together, but they're still missing their front row. Still got their front rowers out. They don't have that go forward, whereas Newcastle is fully healthy, bringing Bo Scott back into the team. It's such an epic back line. I think Newcastle's got to be smarting after throwing away that game at home against the Cowboys. I think, in fact, Newcastle won their first 4 and then have lost 5 in a row. Or actually, sorry, they won 3 in a row, and I think they've lost 5 in a row now, which is just crazy. I think they're going to be desperate to snap the streak here. I see Newcastle winning this game, and we can catch as many as 6 points. It's a key number. I think, what's the line varying from between 5 and 6 points? Yeah, 5.5 and 6. Yep, so we can take 6 points. And as I alluded to before, I really like the Newcastle backline. I think they can put on some points in this game, and I see the total as low as 17.5 for the Knights. To me, that's 2 best bets. Yeah, and I tend to agree with you here. And we were talking about this earlier on, and we really loved the Knights getting a converted try. And we were tossing up whether to take, obviously, Manly team total under or Newcastle, to go over their team total. But I think, Newcastle's going to put up some points here. And I think, Manly getting Lyon back, it just, makes us, lean a bit more to the Newcastle over. So, that's 2 best bets in this game. We're taking the Knights plus 6 points, and then we're also taking the Knights team total to go over 17.5. So there you go. Waited a while for them, but there's 2 best bets for you. Moving on, we got Para hosting the Storm. Para slight dogs here, plus 2.5 points, and the over-under is quite high. We're seeing 43.5 to 44. And I know you said to me you want to take Para this week, and Para's a team that we probably can make money off. Our main man, Sammy Radradra is back. He's back! So that does make me want to play the Eels, and we've said it all year that the Storm's the side we want to go against. We're going to make money going against them, but this isn't the time. The Storm are 100% healthy for this game. Welcoming back Leroy Lars, welcoming back Billy Slater. They're refreshed after a week off. Yeah, they're a slightly older team, so if they've had a bye or, a round off, that's even more reason not to take them on. I think especially the fact that they'll be smarting off a loss to Manly at home, I think they're going to lift. I think they're going to be too classy for Para. I think they will win this game. But I'm not taking an overrated side like the Storm here either, so it's another stay away for me. Yeah, I agree. And I've seen some money come for Para, obviously on the back of Sammy Radradra coming back into the lineup.
But yeah, you're right. And we said earlier on in the season that we'd like to take the Storm in the back half of the season when the tired legs start catching up to them, and that's not quite yet. A full strength Storm. Taking on Para that's getting, obviously Radradra back. This is almost a coin flip game to me, but I can also see this, easily see the Storm winning by 4 or 6 points. So, it's a stay away from me. Now, the last game of the round, we got the Rabbitohs hosting St George, and there's been some money that's come for Souths. They're laying 4.5 points now. The total sitting at 38.5.
And I think the reason for Souths getting a bit of money is probably the Dugan injury.
Yeah.
But something else I noticed in the Anzac Test, and that's GI is not 100%. You can't think about GI and this South Sydney team as the same side that's dominated the NRL for the last 2 years, because GI was healthier back then. They also don't have Adam Reynolds, although I've heard he may rush back to try and win an Origin jersey. But
He's not going to be 100%.
I'm not rushing to the betting window to bet on a guy who's coming back early from a knee injury. They welcome back John Sutton, which will help the forwards, help with go forward. But Glenn Stewart hurt his thumb last week as well. So this team just hasn't been able to get healthy. When they are, I think we can make money betting on them because I think they're just going to be so hard to stop. But I'm not taking on an underrated St George team. The St George team plays D every week. Apart from Dugan, they're actually full health. It's going to be a tight game. Maybe the South Sydney pulls it out, but I don't really want to play this one either.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree. And I actually, we spoke about this earlier in the week, and I actually kind of like South Sydney when the line was 3.5. But I definitely don't like it at 4.5. But at the same time, I don't want to take 4 points with St George. Sydney coming off a bunch of losses. South Sydney coming off a bunch of losses. They're going to want to have a big win here. So, look, it's a stay away from me. And that'll do the round.
Yeah, just a couple of listening questions that we should try and get to. One listener texted me and asked, after 3 Kiwi wins in a row, are the Kiwis just better than Australia?
Oh, that's guff. No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Australia's still got a better lineup, and they just had a horrible game over the weekend. Fifth tackle options were terrible. Their kicking game was absolutely horrid. It's tough to come back from a half where you give up 26 points. And they gave up those 26 points in a pretty quick span of time.
Yeah, and the final play of the first half pretty much epitomised the game with the chip and chase and Inglis taking an air swing at the ball.
Yep.
Australia's always got such a bigger pool of players to draw from. They're always going to be stronger. This is just a small sample size, a bit of crazy stuff going on. I mean, did you see how much pill Australia dropped? I mean, I didn't know if I was watching Australia or if I was watching Evan when he was 17.
And it was on Saturday night too. Well, actually, that was a Sunday after. He probably would have done that too.
Another viewer's asked, we're a third of the way through the season, so what are you boys tipping for the top 8?
Yeah, right. So we are a third of the way through the season, and it's good to sort of reassess, I guess. But I mean, we don't want to go all the way through and name who we think's going to be in the top 8. But it might be an idea just to say who we think maybe is in the top 8 at the moment that won't be there at the end of the season, and maybe a couple teams that aren't in there that will get back into the top 8. And I mean, for me, it's definitely, the Roosters sitting at 12 and the Doggies sitting at 11 in the ladder. They're both 100% going to be there unless they keep getting injuries throughout the season. And they're the two that I think could definitely be there. In terms of teams dropping out of the 8, I mean, the Titans at number 7, they won't be there. I think, the Tigers sitting at 5, they probably will. The only other ones that I could possibly see dropping out of the 8 are probably the Storm and maybe the Dragons if Dugan keeps getting injured like he does.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you there. I think the Tigers, as tough as they've been, that young side, and when they lose Farah and possibly Tedesco in Origin, they'll struggle to hold their spot in the 8. I feel the same way about the Storm in the sense that their key players are all going to be taking part in Origin, which is more wear and tear, more possibility for injuries, and some missed games in the middle of the season. And of course, I'm with you. The Dogs and the Roosters are going to find their way in the 8 come the business end of the season for sure. One more question here, guys. This is Evan. You can get in on this as well. What's your favourite TV show at the moment?
Oh, it probably has to be Better Call Saul.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's good.
Better than Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Have
it
you?
yet.
I've only seen 3 episodes. It's actually pretty good. The first 3 episodes were pretty slow for me.
Just like any one of those shows, it takes a while to get into it and then you get hooked.
What about you both, though?
I've just finished rewatching the 8th season of Modern Family. I don't want to really admit that, but started watching Mad Men. Don't love it.
No?
We've obviously already seen all eps of Game of Thrones, so we're all caught up there.
Legally, of course.
Of course.
Watching it on HBO.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yep.
How is Game of Thrones? I haven't caught this season yet, but is there as much gratuitous nudity and violence? Is there?
Nah. There weren't that many boobs. There were a few. Not as many as I would have hoped for, though.
That's a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Sure, I've been watching, don't know if you guys have heard of it, it's called Plebs. It's kind of like, if you like In-Betweeners, it's like the In-Betweeners but in ancient Rome. It's pretty funny. It's about
true.
3 dudes that just, every single episode they get faced with awesome opportunities. You think it's going to go right for them and then they fail miserably. So
True.
it's pretty relatable stuff. That should do it. That's, ask us any questions. Doesn't always have to be sports related.
Yep.
We love our listeners getting involved in the pod. Send us your best bets. Ask us.
Send us your winning bet slips.
Are there topics you want to understand more about live betting? People have been talking to me about how good the cash out system that everyone has is. I don't necessarily agree with that. There's plenty more topics we can cover. We can, we've proven on a big sample size that we really are making people money. So, get on board. Like we said before, check out our NBA pod, the Ball So Hard pod, giving out plays to enjoy the NBA playoffs.
Released tonight.
They're really heating up. Look out for mixed picks. That should be coming out in the next day or 2.
Fan favourite.
Send us your memes about mixed picks. We've been getting a few funny ones. I got one today. Someone sent me. They had $10 on Carlisi to be the name of the royal princess.
Oh, yeah.
And they said still a better bet than mixed picks. So we do like that. Bit of banter.
Banter's good.
Yeah, so have a great weekend, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the 2 pods we've done for you today. As always, please.
Oh, please.
Gamble responsibly.